Meet the brand new King Seiko Vanac. Seiko has brought back a fan favorite. The originals launched in 1972, and they were famous for one defining trait: their multifaceted wild crystals. However, the revival dropped that iconic feature, what they were known for, but it more than makes up for it with its incredible multifaceted case. Seriously, this thing's a stunner. Razor sharp, flat surfaces, flawless hand Zaratsu polished, and laser precise transitions between finishes. The geometry of the watch is magical. It looks and feels like a lowrider, like it hugs your wrist, even though it has a really large protruding case back. And if you've watched the channel before, you know I hate that. So how'd they pull it off? Well, they removed all the visual mass from the top of the watch. There is no bezel. It's just a mid-case with the sapphire crystal dropping straight in. You can literally see the gasket right here on the edge where it meets the case. You know what? It reminds me of the Grand Seiko, the 62 GS. In fact, I'd bet the sapphire crystal is the exact same one used on that watch. So we lost what made the Vanac special, that faceted crystal, but Seiko more than made up for it by giving us the best sapphire in the world. It's extremely tall, and it's got an impossibly sharp edge. It's notoriously difficult and extremely expensive to manufacture this sapphire. On top of all that, there is a subtle double dome at the peak. It's a wild sapphire, and I am absolutely obsessed with it. Okay, now let's check out the dimensions. I got 40.9 millimeters in diameter and a secret measurement of 34 millimeters. For the thickness, I got 14.3, and there are no drilled lugs and a lug to lug of 45 even. Don't be scared away by that 14.3 thickness. The sapphire accounts for at least, I would say, 2.2 mils. So the watch will wear thinner than the numbers suggest. However, if they hadn't gone with the display sapphire, it would have been even thinner. And yes, this is the first King Seiko to feature a sapphire exhibition, but I will always advocate for skipping it for the sake of a thinner profile. It's only acceptable if the movement is extremely beautiful and the watch is already thin, then you can do it. One incredibly nice touch though is the King Seiko shield is etched directly onto the caseback sapphire. But I remember people complaining about that on the Grand Seikos. But this time, Seiko hit it really well. Watch for it on the screen. I will try to slow down the footage so you can catch it when the light hits it just right. Otherwise it looks invisible. Moving on, the integrated bracelet. At first glance, it looks like a traditional H-link. But it isn't. Each link is actually milled from a single block of metal, using some seriously complex machining. You get a faceted horizontal center section, brushed flanks, and sharply chamfered edges. The transitions on all these surfaces are incredibly deep and well defined. And I gotta say, the footprint is massive. It starts at 27 millimeters right at that case, and it tapers down to 21 at the clasp. That's a pretty crazy 6 millimeter taper. The bracelet looks really wide on my wrist, and I forgot to mention it does use the pin and collar system. And I know most of you are not gonna like this. It does have a deployant clasp with 0 micro adjustments. So this one might be a little bit difficult to dial in. Now the crown is large and grippy with that coarse knurling. And the King Seiko shield is beautifully engraved into the screw-down crown, and it helps give the Vanac a solid 100 meters of water resistance. It feels incredibly solid even when pulled out to the time-setting position, which I'm a fan of. For the dial, this is where I'm kinda let down actually. While I do love the horizontal striped deep blue center, it's undeniably stunning. I'm just not feeling the raised ring for the hour markers. It looks like a textured painted piece of plastic, and the indices on that ring are simply flat and printed. I think that looks a little cheap. I would have loved to see the thick, chunky applied markers that we got in the 1970s Vanacs. However, they gave us one good indice, the 12 o'clock, the keystone marker. It's shaped like a V, which is a nice Easter egg. I like that. And it's highly complex. It's got inner facets, microfluting on the flanks, and it's just so nice and thick. For the hands, they are clean, simple batons. They've got a black stripe down the center, and the second hand, however, loses the plot for me. It's got a massive V counterbalance, which is a bit much. It's a little gimmicky for me. I don't like it. Okay, what about the Lume? Seiko has always been known for their powerful Lume Bright formula, but there's only so much you can do when it's thinly printed on most of those hour markers. But this thing is not a dive watch, so I guess it gets a pass. Okay, so what's powering this brand new Vanac? Well, it's the 8L45. I believe this is the first ever 8L in a King Seiko. And it's the new and improved version. It's not the 8L35. It now has a 3-day power reserve, and it's regulated to +10 -5 seconds a day. For comparison, the old one was +15 to -10 seconds a day and a 50-hour power reserve. And on top of that, the joule count has been upped from 26 joules to now 35, which is a fantastic upgrade for improved efficiency and longevity. So I love this new movement, even though it's 0.2 millimeters thicker. All right, it is time for the moment of truth. For this faceted bling master that will scratch just by looking at it sideways, it's not cheap. This model comes in at $3,300 USD. And yes, that's a hefty price tag, but you are undeniably getting a lot of watch here. And I also mean that literally. It's heavy. Sized up for my 17-centimeter wrist, this steel version weighed in at 177 grams. So you really feel it on the wrist. The newer 2026 versions now come in titanium. I believe they're about $500 more, but I think it's well worth it for the weight. But if you love a hefty, substantial piece, the steel model might be exactly what you're looking for. Big thank you to Kavar Jewelers for lending this one in. The links to their website will be down below. They sell other watches besides Seiko, so check them out, and I'll see you in the next one.